Greetings, greetings all. It's me. It's Jake. Hello. Let's see who's here. Stars enabled. Stars are enabled. Live Tuesdays and Fridays, 3 p.m. on California time on the Facebook. That's what's happening. That's what's happening right now to me. But you may be watching this on the YouTube or the Pod Machine. I don't know. I don't know where you are or what you're doing. But I do know that it's Little Freddie King's birthday party tonight at BJ's Lounge in New Orleans, and that's where I'd be if I could be anywhere tonight. That's where I'd be, except for here at Happy Hour just down the street. That's where I'm going. That's going to be great. Andrew, hello. I'm glad you're watching me. The machine said you're watching me. So welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Today's Friday Tranquilizer. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you about the daily briefing. Don't know any news from today. I just finished a book by Katie Tur about Donald Trump's campaign and election in 2016, in this book, unbeknownst to me until it happened, I'm reading Katie Tur's book, and she said, someone once said, in the rain, New York City makes its own gravy. And that someone is me. I'm the one who said that on the David Letterman show, my first David Letterman show in 1987. I said that when she was a very young toddler. Someone once said, it was me. And I read it in a book by an awesome journalist. And if you're interested in a book about Donald Trump's election, it's a funny book. Yes, Andrew. So cool that it's Friday. Very cool. Pick, greetings to you. Welcome aboard. Dave, hello. Is Jen able to push a button on her screen? Will we be seeing Jen today? It's a cliffhanger. Cliffhanger? It's not a cliffhanger because we'll know by the end of the show whether she's here or not. I hope so. So it's exciting. It's exciting to be here today because this is my last show in America for a little while. I am going to be at the Comedy Magic Club on Saturday, tomorrow the 16th, down in Hermosa Beach, for 2 shows. But then I will be down in New Zealand visiting family. Bob, Jeffrey, Rich, greetings. Then I'll be down in New Zealand for 3 weeks. We don't get back until August 10th. And I'm going to try and do the show from down there on Tuesdays and Fridays at 3 p.m. California time. If possible, that's going to be 10 in the morning on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So that makes it just slightly tricky. Alan, happy Friday to you. Rich, you're saying happy Tuesday. Well, everybody's in a different time zone. Be who you are and enjoy whatever day it is, wherever you are watching. I wish you a lot of luck with that. We've got our Hollywood producers directory. That's what we usually do on Friday. When I say we, I mean me, because it's just me in here. Lady Jerry's in the house. I've got some friends that I go to Jazz Fest with visiting here. And so they're going to come to Happy Hour. It's going to be a big Happy Hour down at Lula on Main Street. Stop by if you're in the hood. But as long as we're just getting started, before we get to the producers directory, which is always a pleasure. Walter, yes. Hey, you made it. Happy Friday to you too, sir. Let's get a Louise L. Hay wisdom card. Here we go. I am willing to see my magnificence. I'm willing to see my magnificence. And that's her magnificence. I don't know if that represents an actual, what your magnificence feels like. If I think that I am a bad person, I get a negative feeling. However, if I change the thought, the feeling disappears. Okay. So I'm willing to see my magnificence. Me too. I'm willing to pretend I'm magnificent. How about that? I'm willing to pretend I'm magnificent. And you should be too. Let's all pretend we're magnificent until I get back from New Zealand. Let's see how it goes. Just see how it goes. Okay. This is a good, I don't usually do a lot of life coaching since we're doing Motivational Mondays for a long time, but, Barbara, greetings to you. We haven't been doing Motivational Mondays, but let's all just pretend we're magnificent until August 10th and see how it goes. See how you like it. See how you like it. You can just pretend to yourself, or you can ask people, do I seem magnificent to you? Because I feel magnificent. I'm just wondering if it's coming across. So let's all feel magnificent until August 10th, and then keep it going. I mean, if you love it, you love it, and then you just keep doing it. So what can we do now? We can get on with the Hollywood producers story directory. My neck is a little bit sore. Thomas, the kid last week who I was able to get on top of and stay on top of, got on top of me and submitted me a couple of times. My neck is a little sore today. I think he wanted some payback, and he got it. Grandpa's neck hurts. But congratulations to Thomas, not just on his new degree in biochemistry, but in his ability to get me to tell him to stop. Please stop. Please stop what you're doing, Thomas. It hurts. It hurts. So I'm trying to pick a good one. We won't have any of these books when we're down in New Zealand. We'll just have to be making things up, and that's going to be tricky. So today's film is called The Big Win. The Big Win. The Big Win. It's a feature film, as are most of these in here. Screwball comedy. That's the genre. So this is a feature film, and I'm going to get to some of these other comments in just a minute. But feature film by M.H. Scarborough. I always do like a guy who just puts his initials in. Joliet, Illinois. I think that's where the prison is. He's got a home, office, and an agent phone number in here. So I'm surprised if this thing didn't get made. 1989. I don't remember The Big Win from the early 90s, but we'll see. George Brumley is an average family man with a job he loathes. So far, so good. That describes a lot of people. I was going to say I can relate, but I can't relate. I'm an average family man with a job that I love. Just that I'm currently not as employed as I would like to be. Although I've got a gig coming up in Richland, Washington, in November 10 through 14. Richland, Washington, a hot part of Washington, and I think one of the high school teams there is their logo is a mushroom cloud atomic bomb. If I'm so getting myself a T-shirt if they still have that. Anyway, George Brumley is an average family man with a job he loathes. He has an attractive wife, 2 appealing daughters, and a sound marriage. How's the marriage, George? Sound. But George dreams of a life of ease. So he buys a lottery ticket. That's what I'd do. That's what I'd do. If I had a job that I loathed and I dreamed of a life of ease, I'm not a life coach. Let's all pretend we're magnificent. But go get yourself a lottery ticket, because that's just the quick solution. If it works. If it doesn't work, you're out $1, right? So what do you got to lose? The answer is easy. $1. You can afford it. So go get yourself a lottery ticket. Pretend you're magnificent to August 10th and see what happens. He's an attractive wife, 2 appealing daughters, a sound marriage is sound, and he dreams of a life of ease. So he buys a lottery ticket. George's difficulties intensify when his beautiful, wealthy ex-wife re-enters his life. Oh, he has an attractive wife. He has an attractive wife and his marriage is sound, but his beautiful, wealthy ex-wife re-enters his life. Now, if you had a beautiful, wealthy ex-wife, that to me would say that you would already be living a life of ease if you had a decent lawyer. If you're getting a divorce from a wealthy wife, do yourself a favor and get a good lawyer, especially if you dream of a life of ease. And then the lottery tickets are just a backup plan after that. So that's my advice. Again, a lot of life coaching today, not usually. Blanche leads George on a series of escapades, and before her 5-day reign of terror ceases, George loses his job, which he didn't like anyway, his winning lottery ticket, and his wife. Oh my God, Blanche is terrible. She's broken up his new marriage, which was sound, according to this. But now I doubt that it was sound, because he was able to, 5 days, Blanche was able to break up the marriage, get the winning lottery ticket, and get him out of that job. Well, at least she got him out of the job. Blanche's estranged present husband. Blanche is a 2-time loser. Blanche is a estranged present husband. She's not going to be wealthy for long. Who has tried unsuccessfully to reconcile their differences, reclaims his wandering wife. There's some good news for George. Maybe he could reclaim his wife from his seemingly sound marriage. George's world of domestic stability is restored. Spoiler alert. There's your ending. I do like a happy ending. I do like when marriages work out. And this is 2 marriages that work out after some real problems. And he won the lottery, and which means that he was able to quit his job. Everybody's rich. Everybody's happy. That's my favorite ending of the story. This is a great story right before going on a big trip. Although I'm disappointed that George wasn't able to hit Blanche a little harder in the divorce settlement, that he needed a lottery ticket. So that's kind of sad. Yeah, the daughters were merely appealing. Look, I don't write this stuff, Kevin. Andrew, FYI, you had a lovely trip to Cleveland. It was awesome. Yes, I thought it was great. And you had a good time at Hilarities. It is a great club. I'm glad you enjoyed that. The World Magnificent always reminds me of Hemo the Magnificent. It's a movie about hemoglobin that they used to show us every year in grade school. Wow, Bob, every year in grade school? How dense were you kids that you needed to see a movie about hemoglobin every year? The Joliet prison, using the Blues Brothers in the TV show Prison Break. Yes, Alan, I do know that. Joliet. That's where Joliet, Jake, and Elwood Blues are from. Yes, I think so. And that's where M.H. Scarborough, author of The Big Win, is from. So, where are we at? Estranged. We're all sound. Jeffrey, I'm glad that you're sound. I feel sound today, too. I was feeling a little bit, my neck is a little sore because my young friend Thomas, who put me through the paces today, I feel like I should have taken him more seriously, as I did the last time we rolled. I think this time I wasn't taking him. You have to take this kid seriously. He's an animal. Charlie, you're saying I'm going to just go ahead and figure that hearing your story today is kismet for you, as well as others here on your show. Yes, Charlie, it is kismet. You're getting a divorce, get a good lawyer. Jen, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you made it. I hope you're doing well. I'll have you know, I saw Belinda pack your hat for this trip. Your pink knit hat is in the bag. Andrew, you have a question. Are we going to stay with Lady Jerry's relatives the whole trip, or do we have plans to travel around a bit? Well, we're not going to stay with Lady Jerry's relatives the whole bit. We're going to be in Auckland for about 4 or 5 days when we first get there, just seeing friends, and we're going to stay with one of Belinda's longtime friends there and her family. And then we're going to be heading down to where her mom lives and her sister. And our original plan was to stay with her sister for a couple of days because her mom and stepdad have moved into a place where they don't have room for us now, kind of a retirement community place. But now they're saying COVID is rampant in New Zealand. So Belinda's sister is concerned about that. So we may stay at a friend's guest house. We were going to stay there some of the time. So we're going to stay at a guest house, I think, and see her sister and her mom intermittently. I don't know what the COVID panic is going to be, but I'm going to wear a mask. I had researched some jiu-jitsu academies to go and try and train at while I was there to have some fun. That seems like that's off, but I'm going to take my gi anyway, just in case I can get in there. And then we're going to be down in Wellington. We've got a Airbnb down there to see Belinda's brother. So we're actually not staying in family's houses most of the time. We're staying other places and guest houses. And then we're going to have a little vacation of just the 3 of us, our family. Actually, Belinda's sister is going to come too on a hiking vacation for 3 days before we come home, before Fanula and I come home, little Jerry and I come home, and then Belinda will be there for 3 more days. So thank you for your question. And I hope that someone cared about that answer the whole time I was giving it. Todd, you're going to be down in San Diego next week for Comic-Con. Yeah, that's going to be a super spreader. Although it's a good time to get into cosplay because you can use that. You can use your big furry head as a mask. You can put in a filter in there. Jen, you're near death. Oh my God. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Pick, you're saying you're wondering if the screenwriter based the character on himself and the job he loathed was being a prison guard. Well, could be. That is a tough job. Yeah, Jeffrey, thank you. I'm going to take vitamin D to help ward off COVID. I've been taking vitamin D. I actually heard that that's what you do. And I love vitamin D. You know why? Because it's delicious. Uh, yes, Kevin, it should be a nice trip. Thank you. It should be a nice trip. Um, there's some trips I'm looking forward to taking when I get back from New Zealand, and one of those is to Denver to Comedy Work. So I'm hoping that's going to happen. Um, Jen, you're hearing voices of people who are not here. You think your fever is 98.6 thousand. Oh, you have to lie down. Yeah. Thank you for the well wishes on the trip. I hope you feel better. Hang in there. Uh, what's your favorite aspect about being in New Zealand? Seems like a wildly beautiful landscape over there. Yes, the natural beauty is the reason to go to New Zealand. I mean, the people are awesome. Um, the food, the best food in New Zealand is the breakfasty brunch food. The quiches and eggy things that you have for breakfast and lunch there are so good. Um, but yeah, the hiking and the swimming. It's going to be winter there, so I'm going to take a little freezing cold jump in the ocean. But hiking and the natural beauty, just to drive around and see things, waterfalls, glaciers, mountains, ferns. They got all that. They got all that, and they have accents. They're quite entertaining to me. I like it. They don't see the charm of it because they all do that. Um, but yeah, so I'm looking forward to all of those things while I'm there. And there's not going to be any snark while I'm in New Zealand, but I think maybe we'll have a little snark right now. How about that? The Snark Handbook. Welcome back, Snark Handbook. Oh, we missed ye. Um, here's the Snark Handbook. I don't, this one, I can't believe that I highlighted this one. What's the quickest way to clear out a men's restroom? Say nice dick. Oh, that, I guess I don't know. Is that joke homophobic? I think it might be. I think it might be. Um, now that the food has replaced sex in my life, I can't even get into my own pants. That's a good one. Now that food has replaced sex in my life, I can't even get into my own pants. Boom. Snark. Right there for you on a Friday. And now, a little something from Esar's Comic Dictionary from 1946, I think this was written. And it is a dictionary, so you can look up any word. They don't have a joke for every word, but here's reflect. When a woman finds time for reflecting, she looks in a mirror. Not so good, Esar. But then again, you can't win them all. We all know that. Reform. Reforms should begin at home and stay there. You never hear of a man marrying a woman to reform her. Oh, sexist. Now these are just sexists. Crowd. Crow. Crow. A bird that never complains without cause. Not bad. A little wordplay there. Crow, a bird that never complains without cause, because they caw. That's the sound that crows make. Hmm. Works. Our friends are just they were in the house with Lady Jerry, and now they're going up to the other house to, I don't know what they're going to do up there. Crowd. No, I don't know. Just see other things for crowd. Uh, bigamist, a man who doesn't know when he's got enough. Hmm. One who makes the same mistake twice. Okay, a little bit of sexism, a little bit of misogyny. Just Friday before happy hour. Hope you enjoyed it. There's plenty more where that came from. Um, where are we at here? Um, you'd like to take a train trip there. You saw it on the Smithsonian Channel, Alan. Yeah, I would like to take a train trip in New Zealand, but there's not as many trains there as you'd think. The railroad happened and then was over, and they got roads. There wasn't enough people for. There's not too many trains for you to do there. But thank you for the well wishes, Charlie. Appreciate that. We finally get to go to Austria in September and see your exchange daughter, Todd. Well, congratulations. That'll be a fun trip to Austria, not Australia, which is near New Zealand in a way that Austria is not. But there you go. Uh, why was the crow arrested? Probable cause. Kevin, killing it on a Friday. Welcome aboard. Um, you have to drive south, Dave. I get it. Train trip to New Zealand sounds awfully long. I would take a train to New Zealand if they had it. It would be a train that goes under the ocean, the train on the bottom of the ocean. That sounds exciting. That sounds like some Doctor Who type shit. Which I'd be into it if they had a train that ran along the bottom of the ocean, or even just was sort of a floating tube that went just in the ocean, like you were in a clear habit trail, but in a train inside of a clear habit trail all the way to New Zealand. I'm in. I'm in. How much would you pay? Now, how much would you pay for your trip to New Zealand? And as you're going in the train, you catch fish that are out there as you go. Oh, there's some texts coming in about our happy hour. Laura, super late from the Fort Myers, Florida airport. Well, I'm happy to hear it. I'm going to be at the LAX Monday night, flying to New Zealand. Lori, you're up north in the Whitsundays doing a skydive. Not even know what that means, Lori, but I'm into it. Lori, you wish the U.S. had proper train travel. We're such a backwards country. Yeah, well, backwards, I don't know. We kind of went right to planes, skip the trains, and we do have automobiles. But yeah, I would love to. I would love to take a trip. I've taken a train from downtown LA to San Diego before, and the second half of the ride or two-thirds of the ride is good, but then the first part is just getting out of LA, and the train in big cities goes through not awesome parts of the big city usually. Interesting because you don't get to see a tunnel full of graffiti and a dead person in a shopping cart. Usually when you're just driving around, but take the train, you get a real good view of that. Yeah, take it easy, Kevin. I hope to do some come to Denver. Give my love to all my friends there, please. All right. Is it time? It's not quite time. I think we've got a little time for a question from the question box. Oh my God, my shoulder. My shoulder is a little bit. This kid Thomas, he is, he needs to work on his manners. Is science or art more essential to humanity? Is science or art more essential to humanity? Well, I would say we've had art a little longer than we've had science. So art's in the lead. But as far as our modern lives go, we're very science-based. I think sometimes we don't have enough art. Although, there's art, there's design. Design is art. When you look how things are presented, your user experience, that's art and science. So is science or art is it more interesting or important? I already put the question away. That's how interesting that was. So that was more of a science. I'm going to say art. I think art's more important. Kevin, thank you for the well wishes on the New Zealand trip. You used to live in Europe, Laura, and one of the things you miss most is being able to go places via train and high-speed rail. Yeah, well, and you can take the train through the channel, which is not as nice of a version as that New Zealand train through the habit trail that I was imagining, but but I'm into it. I think I'm going to go ahead and say it's time. Well, realize by going through the new Beatles exhibit at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that you need to invest in 6 hours in Peter Jackson's Beatles documentary. Looks amazing, but so damn long. Yeah, Peter Jackson, he does not know how to wrap it up. Robert, sorry you're late too. You didn't have to work. Well, that's good. You can watch the beginning of this later on Facebook or YouTube, or you can listen to the audio on the podcast version. I am going to try and be here. I don't know if I'm going to make next Tuesday's show, but I may blink in on Wednesday next week. But I'll be in New Zealand trying to hit the California 3 p.m. live from New Zealand next week and for the next couple of weeks. It's time now for Seize the Day. It's time for Seize the Days. Let's seize this day. If you haven't already seized it, seize it. And if you have seized it and you're having problems, try and relax your grip. That's my That's my advice. All right, so today's Seize the Day is from Unknown. Unknown. I think we all remember Unknown. Unknown is actually well known. That's weird. Today's Seize the Day. If you don't take control of your life, don't complain when others do. So, yeah, take control of your life. Take control of your life, and that way you won't have to complain when others do. Be willing to see your magnificence. Don't forget that. Let's all pretend we're magnificent until August 10th. See what happens. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Be nice to a jerk. That's how we're going to get through this. Andrew, all the well wishes on our trip. Thank you so much. Laura, I'm hoping the undersea train works out in the future. If you're listening to this on the podcast or you're watching it on the YouTube, please know you can watch it on Facebook Live, and then you could be a person who's typing to me this whole time. This whole time. All right. Lastly, but not leastly, don't give up. There'll be plenty of time to give up later. Oh, man. Talk to you soon. Love you.